I'm Harry, I'm with Jamie Dean. We were the production team on Exiles track Live Like Animals, which is a cover of the band
Nothing But Thieves.
Nothing But Thieves. We're going to talk about the recording process for this track. If we start with the drums, I think we both used similar drum setups on our previous recordings, but what's new to me here is using a C414 on the kick drum, which added a lot of resonance and warmth to the overall kick sound. It was placed just almost by the edge of the kick drum. I'll include a photograph of that in the alongside my write-up. Kick mic, yeah, AKG D112.
Yeah, with that one it was just the usual in the sound hole slightly. Nothing different to before with that one really.
No.
Snare 57, it wasn't any different for me. Was it any different for you?
No, pointing at the centre. We didn't use that on a day, I don't think. A C414. We used a small diaphragm condenser.
Yeah, was it a...
It's a 480B.
Was it 480? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And one of them on a hi-hat, same as in other recordings. And the overhead setup, that was AB.
Yeah.
Using the technique where you get a lead and measure from the centre of the snare to the capsules to make sure the snare's in the centre of the stereo image. That's it for drums, isn't it?
Yeah, when we recorded them, we did them in, how many takes was it about 4 takes, I think?
4 takes with overdubs in certain parts because she played it differently to the original.
Yeah. And
we were trying to get it as close as possible to the original.
Yeah, when we recorded it, we did it with guide guitars, guide bass and guide vocals to make a full backing track. So the same as before, basically, in that respect, wasn't it?
Yeah. And just thinking about the 2 kick mics, it'll be important in the mixing process to make sure that they're in phase with each other so that we keep the low end. And bass?
Bass, yeah, we had a DI signal and an AKG D112 on the cab, so similar to before in other ones. That was, I don't think that'll need much processing really. It was sounding quite good off the bat, but obviously we'll have to revisit it in the mix.
Yeah, some bits were a lot louder than.
Yeah.
Near the end, it got a lot louder. So just automate that in the mixing process, automate it down. And same with the kick drum, because there's 2 signals, we'll need to look at phasing issues here.
So with the guitar was the next point, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the guitars, we had a guide track for Dan and I. So that was just standard, doing it with a guide track and then overdubbing afterwards just to get a better tone out of it. I brought my amp in because I'd already made a tone for it at home. So, sorry, that was slightly different to before. We used 57s on the amps, pointed more towards the middle of the speaker cone because we wanted quite a punchy, bright sound, didn't we? So that's just where we went for placement, and overdubbed them. When we plan, when it comes to mixing, Harry and I are probably going to do a bit of it out of college and maybe at my place because we've got some monitors just to make use of extra time. And I think I might have to re-record my guitar on the chorus because I wasn't entirely happy with the sound of it and we're thinking it could be improved a bit.
Yeah.
So we could just record that at home and overdub it a bit and make it sound a bit bigger.
And there's parts in the song which we couldn't replicate here. Or at least through a recording. We'll have to edit them. It was bits where it was a guitar part but chopped up into lots of like 16th notes with silence in between to get like a kind of sound.
Yeah.
Quite rhythmical and precise. So yeah, we couldn't do that, so we'll have to do that in the mixing process.
yeah, for what we did on the day to sort of emulate that was I just played it on the guide track. So I'll just show you what it sounds like to show what we're going for. So it's quite choppy, but in the reference track we're using, it sounds really electronic because what they've done is they've either got a tremolo and held the chord, or they've literally just taken the chord and chopped it, which is what we're going to try, chopping it just to get a really processed sound. So obviously it won't sound like that, but that's just to show the rhythm that we're doing. Layout of the room was, it's on the session plan, so you'll be able to see it, but we just did the usual drums in the middle, but we put baffles around each guitar amp for when we were doing the guide, because we really wanted to reduce bleed. And then, yeah,
in terms of vocals, we did, as you can see here, there's 3, we got Matt to do 3 separate vocal performances. We've got 5 here. 2 are a double track of the original, just the main melody line and the vocals. These 3 other parts are harmonies in the middle 8, and we also got Charlie to double track his parts so that we can experiment with them, because there's quite an interesting thing at the end of some of the lines in the original where the vocal becomes really chorused. So I think double tracking that will help us achieve that.
Definitely.
And then what have we got here? We've got 3 parts for Charlie, and that's in the middle 8, isn't it? That is. What are these? I'll show you now.
So wake up!
There's 3.
So wake up!
Yeah, we used 3 tracks on that because it's just much more effective and it's more in your face. And we also spoke about in the pre-production that Charlie had the idea of using distortion on one of them, or some of, and then putting it back in the mix, so it's more just quite interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe it in terms of vocals.
Yeah, pretty much. We used what did we used again? We used a C414 on the vocals. We didn't run it through the Focusrite, did we?
No.
No.
No, so there's no compression on it or anything. That'll all be done in the mixing process.
Yeah. The main reason we did that is just time, really, wasn't it? So that we thought we can compress it afterwards. So we'll just, for the sake of time, we'll just record it without that compressor.
Yeah, because this is going to take so much processing to make it sound as digitally precise as it is in the recording.
Yeah.
In the original, I mean. That's about it, is it?
Yeah. That's the session plan there. Oh yes. Right. So the timetable. We did run behind a little bit with the time scale, didn't we?
Yeah.
We ran behind by.
We finished everything in a day, though.
Yeah, we did finish everything in the day, which is the important thing. There was a bit of swaying in between time sections, but we accepted that might happen anyway, which is one of the reasons why we put a half-hour lunch break there from 12:30 to 1, sort of knowing that might not be the case that we probably worked through the lunch, and we ended up doing that.
Yeah, kind of took shifts on lunch.
Yeah, so that worked well. Yeah, I think that's a good thing for future, is taking shifts on lunch so that there's no stop to the workflow. It keeps going. I think it worked really well.
Yeah.
Especially if we're behind on time.
Yeah.
If we're not behind, then obviously it's not a problem. But that was it, really, wasn't it, for recording?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that's it.